What we have learned in previous lecture is the first method of capital expenditure decision. Which was the first method? Net present value. How we find out? Present value of cash inflow minus present value of cash outflow. If it is positive, we purchase it because our project is getting more than our required rate of return. If it is negative, we will be rejecting it because we are getting less than our required rate of return. If it is equal, if it is zero, sorry, then we are indifferent. We may accept it, we may reject it. What was our basic question was this, right? And we have taken three situations out of it. We found out net present value, and each scenario we understood whether we should accept the project, whether we should reject the project, or whether we are indifferent. Let us go to method number 2, which is equally related to method number 1, which is profitability index. In short, it is also termed as a PI. Even in question paper it is used. Find out PI. PI is nothing but profitability index. What it is? It is present value of cash inflow divided by present value of cash outflow. So in our same example, we will be finding out the profitability index, and then we will be deciding the decision making criteria, whether we should accept when, whether we should reject when. All right, situation number 1. What will be the answer of profitability index? 248.68 divided by 296. Situation number 1, same question we are taking it. What will be profitability index? 248.68 divided by 296, which was present value of cash outflow. Actually it was cash outflow. So this is situation number 1. I will be getting answer of profitability index. What was answer in point number 1? The present value, net present value was negative, so we were not purchasing. And here also will be getting the same answer, that we are not purchasing. Situation number 2. What will be the figures? PI will be is equal to 248.68, and if you remember, present value of cash outflow was 200. What was our answer? We were purchasing the machinery, and believe me, answer will remain same, whether it is profitability index or whether it is NPV. Situation number 3. You were indifferent. PI was present value of cash inflow was 248.68 divided by 248.68. This was our situation number 3. The answer will be 1. What was the answer? You were indifferent. Let me also find out answer in situation number 1 and 2. Situation number 1 answer will be 248.68 divided by 296. It is 0.84. For situation number 2, it will be 248.68 divided by 200 is 1.24. Right? What should be decision making criteria? Can you help me out, Aman?
If PI is greater than 1, we should purchase.
Why greater than 1?
PI.
Yes, PI should be greater. Your answer is correct. My question is why?
Then we will get our profit. Like what is our required profit, we will get it.
You will be getting profit or something else?
Return.
Exactly. You will be getting your required rate of return. If PI is equal to 1, you will be exactly earning 10%. Try to concentrate over here. You are exactly earning ROR. If PI is greater than 1, now this is mathematics, try to understand. Here it was subtraction. Here it is division. In subtraction, 0 will come when both are equal. In division, 1 will come when both are equal. Alright. So, you are earning more than required rate of return. you are earning less than required rate of return. What will be decision criteria in profitability index? Profitability index decision criteria will be if it is greater than 1, accept the project or purchase the machinery. Less than 1, reject the project or do not purchase the machinery. Equal to 1, you are indifferent. Accept when you are earning greater than your ROR. Reject when you are earning less than your ROR. Indifferent when you are equal to your ROR. These are decision making criteria of TI. Is it absolutely clear? Hoping yes. Let me ask you a question. I don't expect that you will be giving me correct answer, but just try it. When these both methods are same, will give you same result. Believe me, this will never give you a different result. PI will be giving same result. If NPV is negative, PI will be less than 1. Surely you can see it. NPV will be negative when cash outflow is greater. If cash outflow is greater, your denominator will be higher, and so you will be getting always less than 1. Then why this is another method? Why to learn this method when your decision criteria are going to remain same as NPV? Why this additional method was written, that is profitability index? Anyone? I don't expect correct answer from you. But why second method of profitability index when you can find out when you can take decision from your first method? No one. Alright, even I am not giving the answer. When we will be going to capital rationing, I will be giving you answer why there are two different methods when your decision is same. In NPV and PI, your decisions are always same. If you accept the project under NPV, you will accept the project under PI. But still, why there are two methods that I'll teach you. I will explain you when we'll be going to the concept of capital rationing. We are going to third method, which is IRR. In cost of capital also, I have told you, we will be revising one of the question when we'll be doing IRR, but try to concentrate in our same example. I'm taking same example. Your cash flow inflow for first, second and third year is 100, 100 and 100. Your required rate of return is 10%. We also found out present value of cash inflow at the rate of 10%. What was the answer? 248.68. And I am trying to purchase a company. Company will run only for 3 years, will give me a cash flow of 100 crore. It is not profit. Of 100 crore, my required rate of return is 10%. Who am I? I am Jason. And I am trying to purchase this company. I am planning to purchase this company. I want to take decision whether I should purchase this company or not. And this is nothing but capital expenditure decision. Alright. My required rate of return is 10%. I have not yet told you price of the company or the rate at which the company is ready to sell. Market price of company, or if I want to purchase a full company, market price is 200 crore rupees. Here I am not writing crores, I am just writing 200 rupees. Starting. What will be my NPV? Can any student help me out? It is very easy. Aman, do it fast. What is my NPV? Along with calculation. You are not audible to me.
248.68.
You are not audible to me. Drashti, can you help me out? Okay, I feel my speaker is not working properly. It is 48.68. How it is 48.68? 248.68 present value of cash inflow minus 200, 48.68. Drashti, can you be online? As per NPV, whether you will accept the project or not. I think you are not audible. Can you be louder somewhat?
Accept the project.
You will accept the project. Can you tell me, Drashti, why?
Market is undervalued and we will be getting required rate of return.
You will be getting exactly required rate of return?
No, more than that.
Exactly. You are earning more than required rate of return. Alright. So, Drashti, you will be earning more than 10%, right?
Yes.
You are earning more than 10%. See now the concept. More than 10%, agreed. But exactly how much? Do you agree, Hitarth, that you will be exactly earning 10%?
No, sir.
More than 10%?
Yes, sir.
Exactly how much?
Sir, 2 seconds.
Can it be 8%?
No, sir. Greater than 10%.
It will be greater than 10%. Say, I am giving you the answer. You cannot find it out in 2 minutes. Believe me, Hitarth. Is it all right? But I am giving you answer. Say, suppose it is 12%. It is not exactly 12%, but suppose I am giving the answer that it is 12%. Then this 12% is nothing but IRR. How much exactly the project is earning is nothing but internal rate of return. See the name, internal rate of return. What internally this project is earning is nothing but internal rate of return. So exactly how much is nothing but your IRR, internal rate of return. See, from NPV we can say we should accept the project. We are earning more than 10%. But if someone asks you how much, but more than 10%, is it 12%, 15%, 18%? Exactly how much? When you give the answer, you are talking about internal rate of return. Very important concept in finance. Anywhere you go, in insurance sector, in banking sector, in decision making sector, in analytics sector, any sector of financial management, this is extremely important concept. It is, I'm not saying it is difficult concept, it is important concept. How much exactly you are earning, that is internal rate of return from the project. Yes, one thing is absolutely clear, that at the rate of 10%, my present value of cash inflow is 248.68 and present value of cash outflow is 200. So my NPV is positive 48.68. Yes, I will accept the project. The project is earning more than 10%. But how much? That is a question. But how much? That is a question. Try to concentrate. If I tell you the rate of X percentage, whatever might be the percentage, it might be 12%, it might be 15%, it might be 18%. My NPV is 0. Can you tell me something about X? If NPV is 0 at X percentage, Vidhi, can you tell me? Then what? Abhishek?
We are exactly earning X%.
You are exactly earning X% rate of return, and that is nothing but IRR. The rate at which NPV is 0. It is not 0 at 10%. I agree. It is not 0 at 10%. But if I find out the rate at which NPV is 0, then this rate is nothing but my IRR. So what I need to find out, try to concentrate. At the rate question mark at which NPV is 0. At the rate NPV is 0. So here starts a tedious task of finding out IRR. But concentrate. There is no formula. There is trial and error method. I am trying that at the rate of 15%, it will come NPV 0. I am trying, I am not sure. What will be present value of cash inflow? I will have to discount 100 rupees 3 times. This was my cash inflow, 1, 2, 3 at the rate of 15%. How I will be doing it in calculator? Present value of cash inflow 1 divided by 1.15 is equal to M plus is equal to M plus is equal to M plus MRC multiplied by 100. What is the answer? 228.32. 228.30. Positive? Sorry, it is positive. This is present value of cash inflow at the rate of 15%, 228.32. Negative will remain 200 because the market price does not change of a company. What is NPV? Positive 28.32. Yes, my forecasting was incorrect. At the rate of 15%, NPV is not 0. But believe me, still this is not a useless calculation. What is my answer? Positive? What does it mean, Darshita? My project is earning more than 15% or less than 15%?
More than 15%.
It is earning more than 15%. Anywhere when NPV is positive, it is earning more than your discount rate at this rate. More than your rate at which you have discounted, the project is earning more than this particular rate. Alright. So at 15%, I have not got correct answer. Let me try it out at the rate of 20%. I will have to find out present value of cash inflow at the rate of 20%. Let me find it out. 1 divided by 1.2 is equal to M plus is equal to M plus is equal to M plus. MRC multiplied by 200. It is divided by 200 multiplied by, it is multiplied by 100. It is 210.64. 210.64. At the rate of 20%, what is my present value of cash inflow? 210.64. What is present value of cash outflow? 200. What is my answer? 10.64. Positive, negative? It is positive. Sorry. This is present value or NPV is positive. Project is even earning more than 20%. Project is earning more than 20%. See where we started our journey from? Project is earning more than 10%. Now we know that project is earning even more than 20%. Let me do one more trial at the rate of 25. What we are trying to get? The rate at which NPV is 0. The rate at which NPV is 0. Is it alright? At the rate of 25%, I will have to find out first present value of cash inflow. 1 divided by 1.25 is equal to M plus is equal to M plus is equal to M plus. MRC multiplied by 100. It is 195.2. 195.2. What is present value of cash outflow? 200. What is the answer? Negative 4.8. And this answer is negative. But our target is to get NPV 0. Because NPV 0 means we are earning over this rate, our discount rate, and which is nothing but IRR. So can I say IRR is 25%? No, at 25% it is not 0, it is negative. Was it all right? Can anyone tell me a perfect statement what will be IRR considering these two figures? What will be your IRR? Can anyone tell me? Not exactly. Aman? Yes, Darshita.
Sir, it will be between 20 and 25%.
Exactly. IRR will be between 20 to 25%. Why we know that it is greater than 20%? Because at 20% NPV is positive. Why we know it is less than 25%? Because at 25% NPV is negative. So IRR will be between 20 to 25%. Still I have not got my correct answer. Alright, still this is not the correct answer. What should be the IRR? I still don't know. I just know the range. It should be between 20% to 25%. Try to concentrate to find out IRR. To find out IRR, I will be using these two figures. For finding out IRR, these two are now useless. Alright. Which two figures or which two rates will be applicable? One rate should be having NPV positive, one rate should be having NPV negative. Then only you can find out IRR. Try to concentrate the concept of interpolation. I am starting with base rate 20%. So my base rate is 20%. 20% is not my IRR, but I am starting my interpolation technique with 20%. Sir, what is interpolation technique? It is just an approximation technique which gives you an approximate answer between 20 and 25%. Now, 20%. What is NPV? 10.64%. 10.64 rupees positive. Alright. At 25%, what is NPV is negative 4.8. Let me not write this down because it is already written. Alright. From our base rate 20%, if I decrease my NPV, by 10.64 rupees from 20%, what was NPV at 20%? 10.64. From 20%, at NPV 10.64, if I reduce more NPV by 10.64, then my NPV will become 0. Right now it is 10.64 at 20%. If I reduce my NPV by 10.64, my NPV will be 0. Is it all right? Then how much rate I should increase? Now try to concentrate. This rate and NPV are inversely related. What is the meaning of inversely related? If one increases, another decreases. Try. I am having a proof. 10%, what is NPV? 48.68. Rate increases, NPV decreases. See, rate increases, NPV decreases. Rate increases, NPV decreases. You can see reverse side also. Rate decreases, NPV increases. What I want to do, I want to decrease NPV. So I'll have to increase the rate by how much, that I don't know. Starting. Now, if I am increasing the rate by 5%, see over here, I am increasing the rate by 5% from 20%, which is our base rate. From 20%, when I am increasing rate by 5%, the NPV is decreasing? Yes. What is decrease in NPV? Can anyone tell me? First it was a 10.64. Now it has become 4.8. What is decrease in NPV? From 10.64 it has decreased to 4.8. 10.64 minus 4.8. 5.84?
No, 15.44.
Exactly, good amount. Why? 10.64 minus 4.8. Minus will become plus. See, difference between 1 and -1 is not 2. Sorry, is not 0. Difference between 1 and -1 is 2. 1 and -1, I want the difference. Difference is 2, right? So difference in NAV and difference in NAV is a 10.64 plus 4.8. 10.64 plus 4.8. It is 15.44. See over here, this rate. If you increase the rate by 5%, your NPV decreases by 15.44 rupees. Right? But you don't want a decrease of 15.44 rupees. You want a decrease of 10.64 rupees. Then how much rate should be increased? The cross multiplication. Simple. Once again I am explaining. If you increase the rate by your discount rate by 5%, your NPV decreases by 15.44. From 20%, where your NPV is 10.64, you want to decrease it only by 10.64 because you want to make NPV 0. Then the rate should increase how much? It is 5% into 10. Let me do it in this manner. 10.64 multiplied by 5 divided by 15.44. This should be the answer. 10.64 multiplied by 5 divided by 15.44. What is the answer? 3.44? 3.44 percentage. See, what does this mean? After 20%, if you will increase the rate by 3.44%, your NPV will decrease by 10.64 rupees. And so now your NPV will become 0 because it was positive 10.64 at 20%. It was positive 10.64 at 20%, which you have taken as base. So what I should do? 23.44 at the rate of 23.44%. Your NPV will be 0. At 23.44%, your NPV will be 0. Hence, 23.44% will be nothing but your IRR, internal rate of return. See, our answer was correct. It is between 20 and 25%. Yes, we got it. It is between 20 and 25%. It is exactly how much? 23.44%, which is nothing but internal rate of return of a project or IRR of a project. Is it alright? Now, how I have got it? Try to concentrate. 20% plus, what was this? 10.64 multiplied by 5 divided by 15.44. What was this answer? 23.44%. Sir, so every time I need to logically do this? No. But this time you should logically understand it. I'm not saying you should mug it up, but you should be absolutely clear with what we are doing. We are finding out an approximate answer at which NPV is 0, because the rate at which the NPV is 0 is our IRR, which is our target. To find out what we are trying to find out is IRR, which is 23.44%. Try to concentrate now. This is how I have got 23.44%. You should be ready with the two figures. The one rate, your NPV should be positive. At the second rate, your NPV should be negative. Then only you can apply the formula which we are trying to derive. At one rate, your NPV should be positive. At another rate, your NPV should be negative. Then only we get range. And then only we can use the interpolation technique. Try to concentrate. 20% is nothing but base rate. Base rate should normally be taken off positive NPV. Plus in the bracket. What is 10.64? It is NPV at base rate. Agreed? What is 10.64? What is base rate? 20%. It is NPV at base rate. What is 15.44? It is a difference in NPV. Yes, difference in NPV ultimately plus, because one is plus sign, one is minus sign, and minus minus will become plus. So ultimately it will be added. But in technical mathematical terms, it is written as difference in NPV multiplied by, what is this? 5, which is nothing but difference in rate. And from now onwards, if you are having one positive rate, the rate at which there is a positive NPV, there is a rate at which there is a negative NPV, you can directly use this formula and get answer of internal rate of return. Alright, so we will be using this formula. I don't doubt that we will never be using this formula. We will always be using this formula to find out IRR. But how this formula is derived, you should be absolutely clear. We know that it is between 20 and 25. We are just trying to approximate at which rate the project is, at which rate the end project will be having NPV of 0. This is what we are trying to find out. So this is a formula for internal rate of return. Correct. And what is IRR? The rate at which NPV is 0. Two questions. I will be showing you these two charts. Number one, what is IRR? Abhishek, for our project.
23.44.
What is NPV of the project?
0.
Any other student? What is NPV of this project? This project that we are trying to do. Drashti?
Zero.
Yeah, Darshita?
48.66.
Exactly. Your NPV is not zero. At 23.44, your NPV is zero. Agreed. But when I say what is NPV of your project, NPV of your project is this. This is NPV at IRR. NPV at IRR will always be zero. That is what you are finding out. But when someone asks you, this is a project where cash inflow is this, cash outflow is this, find out NPV of the project. It is 48.68. It is NPV at over rate of return. And what is Chaser's rate of return is 10%. It is not 23.44. When 23.44 came, when someone asked me this, you accepted the project because your project is earning more than 10%, but how exactly the project is earning? That answer was 23.44. So all of you agree? Abhishek, Drashti, all of you agree? Your NPV is what? 48.68. If someone asks you what is NPV of your project is 48.68, what is IRR of the project is 23.44%. For some knowledge, if someone asks you what will be NPV at IRR, NPV at IRR will be zero. That does not mean NPV of this project is zero. So you can understand we were learning the heading of IRR and still we got the answer of majority of time we have written NPV, right? Because practically we are finding out a discount rate at which NPV is zero. So every time we will have to find out NPV, is it alright? But still the answer that we'll be getting is IRR or internal rate of return. And this formula will be extremely important to find out IRR. Try to concentrate. This was the questions that we have skipped in cost of capital, and now onwards whatever questions we have skipped, 1 or 2 questions will be there that you need to go and solve it on your own. I'm just giving you a technique. We were having a company is having face value of 100 debentures having 10% interest rate, Right now I am assuming tax as 0. If tax is also there, you can easily solve it. Start it. Which is redeemable after 5 years at the rate of rupees 105. Debentures were issued at par. So instead of capital budgeting, we are doing a concept of cost of capital. If you remember how we were finding out KD of redeemable debentures is interest into 1 minus P, but here tax is 0, so I am not taking it. RV minus B upon N upon RV plus B upon 2. What is the interest? 10 rupees. 100 into 1. We understood in cost of capital, whether we find out cost of 1 debentures or we find out cost of 10,000 debentures, cost in terms of percentage per annum is going to remain same. Plus redemption value is 105 minus borrowing is 100 divided by 5 upon RV is 105 plus 100 divided by 2. Numerator will be 11. Denominator will be 102.5 multiplied by 100 will be nothing but cost of irredeemable debentures. If you feel I am going fast, you can go into cost of capital chapter. This is what we have done n numbers of times. What is the answer? 10.73% is nothing but cost of debentures. Believe me, the formula by which we have found out, we get which answer? Approximate answer. What is a good method to find out this? Try to concentrate. For the same debentures, you are going to pay interest of 10 rupees every year. And in 5th year, you are going to give 10 rupees interest as a company. What interest you are going to pay every year? 10 rupees. Plus, you are going to refund 105 rupees with premium of 5. So this will be 115 rupees. This is cash outflow for a company. Right? That's for a company. For investor, it is cash inflow. Is it all right? What is the current cash inflow for the company? What is cash inflow for the company? 100 rupees? Because we have taken borrowings as 100. If it was 95, we could have taken it 95. Then here it will be 95. We have taken it 100 in this question. So what is your cash inflow? 100. Let's start. Now, if I find out IRR of debentures, let me find out. Let me try it out. Let me find out present value of cash outflow at the rate of 100 rupees. Let me make this as inflow and this as outflow. Is it all right? See, for investor, it is inflow. For company, it is outflow. Is it all right? Let me do it from the point of view of investor. Even if we do it from the point of view of the company, the answer is going to remain same. But we have done this as inflow, so let me take it as inflow. And this as outflow. Vice versa, if you take it, does not make any difference. Why? Because ultimately your NPV is going to become 0. Present value of cash inflow minus present value of cash outflow. Is it all right? Try to concentrate. At the rate of 10%, let me first find out present value of cash inflow. This will be my answer of present value of cash inflow. Let me first find it out. 1 divided by 1.1 is equal to m plus 2, 3, 4 MRC multiplied by 10 is 31.70. 31.70, and 5th year it will be 1 divided by 1.1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 115. It is 71.40. 71.40. This is for first 4 years. I have just found out present value. Now I will not be repeating present value. What is present value of cash inflow? 31.70 plus 71.40, which is 103.1. What is present value of cash outflow? Is 100. What is the answer? Positive 3.1. See, if we just treat it as a project is earning. See, and for an investor, this is a project. Project is earning more than 10%. Project is earning more than 10%. I want IRR. What exactly project is earning? For debenture holders, this is investment, and he is finding out what exactly he is earning. Now, at 10%, NPV is not 0, so he is not exactly earning 10%. Let me find out at 11%. I'll have to find out present value of cash inflow first. 1 divided by 1.11 is equal to m plus 1, 2, 3, 4. MRC multiplied by 10 is 31.02. And for 5th year, 1 divided by 1.11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 115. It is 68.24. present value of cash inflow will be 99.26. Present value of cash outflow will remain 100. For investor, my NPV is 99.26 minus 100. It is 0.74. But negative. I can say for an investor, project is earning. For an investor, project is earning more than 10% and less than 11%, approximately 11%, because this is negative 0.74. But it is between 10 and 11%. I need to find out exact answer. How I find out IRR? I take 10% as a base rate. IRR will be is equal to base rate plus, in the bracket, NPV of the positive rate or base rate, difference in NPV multiplied by change in rate. Base rate is 10% plus NPV at base rate is 3.1. Difference in NPV will be 3.84. It is 3.1 minus 0.74 multiplied by 1. 3.1 divided by 3.84 plus 10. What is the answer? 10.81. Don't say me, sir, where this formula came. We have derived this formula. This is IRR for investor. IRR is a 10.81% for investor in debentures. See, if from one product you are earning 10.81%, from that product my cost will be 10.81%. So cost of company for this particular debentures will be 10.81%. See, if I am selling you this pen at the rate of rupees 10, my revenue will be 10 rupees and your cost will be 10 rupees. That cannot change. So if you are earning 10.81%, my cost of borrowing this money is 10.81% as a company. What is this? I have found out IRR. Ultimately, it become cost of debenture 10.81%. What was your answer? 10.73. I told you it is an approximate answer, and believe me, this is a normal approximation. It will not be so much high approximation that this answer will be 8% and this answer will be 12%. Is it all right? So this is 10.73 approximate cost. This is 10.81 lesser approximation. Here also there is an approximation technique. This is an approximation technique, right? This technique, this particular technique, this one. This technique is an approximation technique. Is it all right? So even here there is an approximation, but here there will be a smaller level of approximation, and you can find out cost of debentures. Is it all? Which is more correct? Yes, this one is more correct. Which should be done in examination if you are asked cost of debenture is this. Is it all right? Seeing time and the marks value, you should always follow this. But if cost of debenture question asked and it says find out cost of debentures by IRR method or internal rate of return method, then they are actually asking you to do this. All right, and you will have to do this. Find out, ultimately you need to find out IRR and it will automatically become cost of debentures. Is it all right? Ultimately, IRR is the rate what project is actually earning. Let us go to next method, fourth. Fourth is payback period method. Correct. Say this all method should be used. No, different method gives you the different answers. What is payback period method? Try to concentrate. My investment in project, that is cash outflow, is rupees 3 lakhs. This is cost. If I do this project at the end of first, second, third, fourth and fifth year, in first year I'll be getting 1 lakh rupees, in second year I'll be getting 2 lakhs rupees, in third year I'm getting 4 lakhs rupees, in fourth year I'm getting 50,000 rupees, and in fifth year I'll be having a loss of 10,000 rupees. How much money I have invested in the project? 3 lakhs rupees. If I ask you, without the time value of money, that is without discounting, when your initial investment will be recovered, when your initial investment of 3 lakhs rupees will be recovered. See, what is my question? When your initial investment of 3 lakhs will be recovered, can you tell me exact years? Hitarth, in how many years your initial investment of 3 lakhs will be recovered?
At the end of second year.
Yes. So 2 years or end of second year? In 2 years, your initial investment will be recovered, and 2 years is nothing but a payback period. Two years is nothing but your payback period. Is it correct? This is nothing but concept of payback period. In how many years your initial investment will be recovered. Is it correct? Let me take a different example. First, second, third and fourth year, my initial investment was 5 lakhs rupees. In first year, 2 lakh will be recovered. In second year, 2 lakh will be recovered. In third year, 2 lakh will be recovered. In fourth year also 2 lakhs will be recovered. Can anyone tell me what will be payback period? Vidhi?
$4.5.
It is? Can you say 2.5? 4.5 or 2.5?
2.
Alright, your voice is not clear.
2.5.
Yes, it will be 2.5. In first year, what you will recover? 2 lakhs. In second year, 2 lakhs you have recovered in first year. 2 lakhs will be recovered in second year. In next 5 months, that is 0.5, that is 6 months, you will be recovering 1 lakh rupees more. Total will be 2 lakh plus 1 lakh, that is 5 lakhs will be recovered in 2.5 years. See, when this figures are equal, you can easily use this formula. Payback period will be is equal to initial investment upon cash flows. This can be used only if these figures are equal. Initial investment is 5 lakh. This is 2 lakh. This will be 2.5. This is nothing but payback period, 2.5 years. Next in payback is discounted payback. Try to concentrate. IMX Limited, my required rate of return is 10%. Right? My initial investment in project is again 5 lakhs rupees. In first year, my cash flow will be 2 lakhs. In second year, my cash flow will be 3 lakh. Let me take it 2 lakhs. In third year also, my cash flow will be 2 lakhs. And in fourth year also, my cash flow will be 2 lakhs. Now, we know that payback period is 2.5 years. But if the question says you to find out a discounted payback period, then you will have to take this first year not value as 2 lakhs. You will have to take it as a discounted value. Discounted at the rate of 10%. How this 2 lakhs can be discounted for 10%? 1 divided by 1.1 multiplied by 2 lakhs is 1,81,818. Second year will not remain same. It is second year. 1 divided by 1.1 is equal to multiplied by 2 lakhs. It is 165,290. Understand? You will have to find out each and every figure separately. Third year will be 1 divided by 1.1, 1, 2, 3 multiplied by 2 lakhs will be 1,50,262. Fourth year, 1 divided by 1.1, 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplied by 2 lakhs will be 136,602. Right? So this will be my discounted cash flow. And I need to find out payback period from discounted cash flow. The technique remains same. Now see, the figures are weird. Do you need to concentrate how I am finding it out? In first year, 181,818 will be recovered. In second year, this plus 181,818 will be recovered. What is the answer? 168,290, 168,290 plus 181,818. 3,50,108 will be recovered. 3,50,108 will be recovered. Now, if 1,50,262 is recovered, my 3 years will be completed. Plus 350,108 will be recovered. So what will be total recovered? 150,262 plus 350,108. It is 5,370,000. So it is 2 years and some months. Is it alright? But I need to find out exact answer. 2 point how many years? 2 point how many years? This can be easily done. How I'll be doing it? Same as in interpolation method. Is it alright? In third year, how much money is recovered? In 1 year. In third year, which is 1 year, which is 12 months. Let me take it 1 year. How much money is recovered in third year? 1,50,262. 1,50,262. How much I wanted to recover in 1 year, this third year? Try to concentrate. I had already recovered 3,50,108. Already recovered 3,50,108 rupees. I needed to totally recover 5 lakhs to find out my payback period method. So in third year, my recovery required was only this: 5 lakh minus 3,50,108. It is so. What was required to be recovered? 149,892. 149,892 was to be recovered in third year. Cross multiply this. In third year, so it is 2 point something. It is 149,892, 149,892 divided by 150,262. It is 0.99 and 2 years are already completed, so it is 2.99. and we were knowing it is very near to 3 years. Is it alright? So how we have found out? Base year, and then what we did, this figure divided by this figure. Plus, what was this figure? 149,892 to be recovered. Divided by recovered in that year. I will be getting answer in years. Again, you can find out answer in months also, in days also, by same cross multiplication, but this answer will be in years. Alright. Let me do it in this question. What was my base rate? 2. Plus, what was to be recovered? Sorry, I have written it incorrectly. What is recovered in next year? What is? No, it was correct. We were multiplying this with 1 and dividing this. So to be recovered in next year divided by recovered in next year. So what was to be recovered in next year is 149,892 divided by recovered in next year is 150,262. So that point answer will be correct. This will be 2.99. Answer will be in years. This is discounted payback period method. So what we have learned? We started with PI, profitability index, decision criteria. Then we started with IRR, how much exactly the project is earning. Payback period method, which includes a discounted payback period method. If you ask me, sir, how payback period method is important, try to concentrate. Project A, project B. You have determined other criteria like NPV, IRR and other points. But the thing is, project A is having payback period of 5 years and project B is having payback period of 20 years. Alright. Can any student answer me which project is more risky? Directly from this two figure. Huh? Darshita? Yes, Aman?
Plan B.
Project B is more risky. So try to understand. This gives you an idea about the project's risk. In how many years it will be recovered. If it is 20 years, what will happen in 20 years? No one knows. So this project might not be profitable in long run because this is a long run project and we don't know what will happen after 5 years. How will we come to know what will happen after 20 years? So which project is more risky is project A. You are getting some idea about the project from payback period method, yes. Then it is a good analysis tool to be along with NPV, IRR and other methods. So I don't say projects are selected or rejected based upon payback period method. But it is one of the important method in evaluating capital budgeting decisions.